Hey everybody, it's Grim back with another video, and I wanted to show some political videos today. The Charlie Kirk murders keep getting weirder. On one side, we have people talking about how it's violence and this and that, and they need to be taken out, blah, 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 blah. The other side is talking about how political violence of any nature on either side is untenable. So we're going to watch this video from Keith Edwards.
Well, the governor of Utah just came out and basically contradicted everything the far right and MAGA has been trying to pin on the left for something that we still don't really have a lot of information about when it comes to Charlie Kirk and the assassination. And they are trying to pin it on trans people. But we know.
Yeah, that's the other narrative that they've been pushing, that the shooter was trans and this and blah, 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 blah. So here's the actual proof, or rather the truth. The transgendered person they're saying killed Charlie Kirk was a white cis male. He was a MAGA. He didn't register to vote. Yeah, or rather, he was unregistered party-wise, let's say. And he usually did vote Republican since he was 18, and he's 22 now. So I'm going to go ahead and keep playing the video.
By and large, trans people are just like you and me, just trying to survive in this country and ideally living a happy and fulfilling life. That's the average experience of trans Americans, and they, just like you and me, deserve life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But that's not what MAGA wants. MAGA's trying to say that we're the extremists. We're the extremists. Well, this woman here, Valentina, let's look at her name.
Before I let him continue on that, yeah, we're the extremists? I'm sorry, who was wiping shit on the walls and mailing pipe bombs to people? Yeah, it was never anybody on the left doing that. Who's the ones that stormed the Capitol on January 6, 2021? It was not leftists. It was not transgendered. It was not gay people. Maybe some MAGA people are gay, but they're closeted. But that's fine if you are. But that doesn't distract from the fact that, you know, every J6er who did enter the Capitol was a MAGA Trump supporter.
Gomez posted this video, and you tell me who is the extremist. I've never seen someone on the left do anything close to this.
It's that simple. Public executions for any illegal that rapes or kills an American. They don't deserve deportation. They deserve to be ended.
How's that feel?
Wow. Yeah, and it's us calling for violence, right? It's the Democrats, the leftists, the progressives. Everybody that's saying, hey, we need to all hold hands and be one as a nation. It's those people, huh?
That is insane. And they're trying to say we're the ones who incite violence. Now, there is extremism on both sides, for sure. But I'm going to show you some facts that show that the extremism
would be people like the Unabomber or the Oklahoma bombing. Those were Democrats. Those were the Democrats. But they were far extreme left. Everybody calling for unity is left of center. Everybody calling for us to be together are just left of center. But you don't have any Republicans that are just right of center anymore. Pretty much all of them, except for the ones that actually got a brain in their fucking skull, are MAGA. They're MAGA or extreme right. And if you go and look at all the posts that Tyler Robinson was putting on his Facebook posts, He even mentioned that Charlie Kirk wasn't right-wing enough. Does that click with you guys at all? I don't think it does.
And the violence is largely on one side, and it's not on the left. It's not on the left. But that doesn't stop Fox News from trying to pin this on Democrats. And I'm going to tell you where I think this is going after the clip.
It is a good point. I want to point something else out. You heard the family member say that this man became more political, this young man became more political in recent years. Well, what did he do in recent years? He went to college. That's where kids are getting radicalized. It's not just online.
The narrative that college makes anybody extreme left-wing has no idea what college actually does. College teaches you that there's decency in the world. College teaches you math. You know, like rocket science, for one. College teaches you liberal arts, and they don't know what liberal arts are, so they hate on it. Liberal arts is everything about literature, painting, you know, stuff from history, and that makes you a history buff once you get the degree. Once you get the degree, you can go further into your, you know, thesis and things like that. You become a art history major, art history teacher, if you wanted to do so. But most people with a liberal arts degree can't find that type of work because of these right-wing nut jobs. Because every day, as we get further into the future, things are taken down, things are irreparably harmed, things are ripped off walls, and the ones doing it are the ones calling for, saying that we're trying to indoctrinate the youth of America. When you have people like this trying to push religion into schools, and not just religion of any kind, no, they're trying to say we are a Christian nation. No. Obviously, you don't know the history of this nation. We were founded by people trying to get away from a one religion nation. Look at England, for example. Look at the last 500 years, 600 years, 700 years. What religion was it that started the Crusades? I rest my point.
Campuses are where a lot of radicalization, hate, and intolerance starts from. And so when he says it's an attack on all of us, I'm going to say this.
You know, it's pretty funny. She brings up hatred and intolerance when all they're doing is hating on transgender, gay people, queer people, LGBTQ, anybody that's giving gender affirming care to their, not 9-year-olds, by the way. It's never 9-year-olds. It's usually people who are 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 years old who want to live in a comfortable space within themselves. Yes, they're changing themselves. Let's talk about gender affirming care for a minute. We're not chopping penises off. It literally gets a surgery where it's literally folded into a vagina. They actually have videos of how this works. So we're not cutting a dick off. Okay? We're turning it literally into a vagina. Which is really what you start as in the womb. You have a vagina, and then hormones take over while your mother is pregnant with you and drop all of your sex organs outside of yourself and turn it into a penis and testicles. And vice versa, you stay female if you're going to be completely female. So while we're in our mother's womb, we are technically androgynous in a sexual manner. But let's not distract from the fact that it's not the left sexualizing children. Why else have the next 15 states who declare themselves a red state keep trying to stop the raising of the marriage age? And why is Trump trying to say a 14-year-old can now be considered an adult? Yeah, I'm sorry, you can't get away from any of these facts. You guys can distract all you want, you guys can say whatever you want, but the facts remain the same. You guys are nuts.
It's an attack on conservatives. It's an attack on Christians.
He went to college, I think 2 years ago during COVID for a semester. Utah State University, I don't think is a woke bastion of liberal life. And this is an attack on all of us, whether you want it to be or not, because we're all Americans. You want to divide us. I refuse to be divided. I refuse to be divided. And like I showed you, it seems like the only place hate, violence, and radicalization is happening is really on one end of the spectrum. Now, 98% of mass shooters are men, 57% are straight white men, only 0.11% are trans. Of all the mass shooters, 0.11, can't even get.
What he's not pointing out yet, maybe he will, is that the people that stay away from quote-unquote liberal media, they're only in it for the hate. That's why they watch Fox News, Newsmax. They post on Truth Social, because all they're doing is showing that they don't know how to speak without insults. Yeah, I know. I'm over here calling people nut jobs and this and that. But it doesn't distract from the fact that it's true. As soon as Trump started doing his shit in 2016, 2015, 2016, all of the nut jobs literally came out of the woodworks. Like freaky little cracked out beavers. And all they can do is mine a bird, anything and everything the top Republicans say, especially Trump. And guess what? 25 years before he ran as a Republican nominee for the president, he was Democrat.
1%. It's such a small, meaningless amount of people. The real people we should be looking at are men and straight white men and trying to figure out what it is that is leading them to behave this way. And they're trying to blame it on video games. As you can see here, lots of deaths. This is America. These are violent gun deaths per 1,000 people up until in 2017. Here's video game revenue per person in 2019. Now you'll see Japan has more video games, or people playing video games, even South Korea. Third is USA. Why is it they have almost no gun deaths? Could it possibly be because they don't have guns? Seems to make sense to me. Now, the Republican governor of Utah has basically shattered the narrative happening on the right. And this is the responsible thing to do. Spencer Cox, you should learn that name. I have a prediction that this man will run for president.
Well, some outlets are reporting that the suspect lived with a transgender partner. Is that accurate? And are investigators looking at this part of his life as a possible motivation?
Yes, definitely. And
It was not his lover. It was just a roommate.
I can confirm that. I know that has been reported, and that the FBI has confirmed that as well, that the roommate was a romantic partner, a male transitioning to female. I can say that that he has been very cooperative. This partner has been incredibly cooperative, had no idea that this was happening, and is working with investigators right now.
So a person transitioning to female who is cooperative and had no idea this was happening, yet still members of the right wing of this country are trying to pretend like it is this person who didn't even pull the trigger is somehow the force behind someone's death. It defies logic, to be completely honest. And here's just some facts. These are unfortunate facts for the right. As I said, murders do happen.
And there we have it, folks, right here. Actual facts. Look. Yeah, sure. There's left-wing murders. It's usually by insane people. So the party really has nothing to do with it. But if you really look at it, aside from this one, every single other death in a political sense have been done by Republicans. All except for the fact that they're going to say, oh, this is done by a left-leaning poll. Yeah, that's the goalpost moving for you.
Motivated murders happen on both sides of the aisle. They're concentrated on one side. You see a lot of red here. And it's really just getting, it's not getting better. In fact, it's getting worse. So you should screenshot this, because when people say online, when people on the right say online, or your family members say this, that, well, it's on both sides, you can say, yeah, you're right, it is on both sides. But let's be accurate. It's on the majority of one side. And only one side ramps it up. When this happened, Republicans, Donald Trump, so many other people who are influencers online or politicians were calling for war against people on the left and Democrats. When we didn't know anything about the killer, we didn't know anything about his background, the motive, when it's looking like it's a lot more complicated than anyone would have thought. And secondly, this is what the real violence is in America, politically motivated violence. And here is Elon Musk saying this.
And then you see how much violence there's on the left, with our friend Charlie Kirk getting murdered in cold blood this week, and people on the left celebrating it openly. The left is the party of murder.
Left is the party. Do I have to pull this?
Yes. Yeah. Some people were celebrating his death. I'm more left-leaning than anything, but I'm not going to celebrate his death. I'm not going to mourn it, because let's get down to brass tacks. Charlie Kirk was openly misogynistic, openly transphobic, openly homophobic, openly white nationalist, as in for, you know, a one nation God, or one God nation. When you do have Muslims, Buddhist, Taoist, Hindu, all walks of life in this nation, that one side is actually trying to get rid of all of them, because they say that all of them are somehow they vote for Democrats. And if that is the case, why did Trump win in 2016? If that was the case, why did he win in 2025? Or, excuse me, 2024? If that was the case, he wouldn't have won any presidency. But let's get down to the other facts here. I'm going to pull another video up here pretty soon. I'm going to let Keith talk here in a second. But yeah, as I was saying, everything Trump says is a lie.
And politically motivated left-wing and right-wing killers by decade. I'm seeing a lot more red there, Mr. Musk. And I just gotta say, let us, can we just, I don't even want to say celebrate, but can we at least uplift a Republican who is saying the right thing? James Langford was on CNN this morning and actually said something responsible. Can you believe it?
last week, just to follow up on what Stephen Miller is suggesting here, he said, quote, the Democratic Party is not a political party, it's a domestic extremist organization.
Well, they have a very different view than I do. I'm a conservative Republican. I have Democratic friends that think very differently, vote very differently, but they're still my friend on it. So just having that ideology, just believing differently than some other American is not illegal. That's America. We don't all agree as next door neighbors on different things, but it is very different to.
Sure, it's not illegal, but Trump is now trying to put laws into place that basically say you can't say anything negative about him. When that's called political discourse. We as a nation, as a people, as voters in this nation, in these states, have a right to criticize our political officials. i.e., Trump is a sack of liquefied dog shit and does not deserve the presidency. He is committing waste and fraud. He is committing these crimes. He is committing to history how bad we've fallen backwards in time. Roe v. Wade got that taken out. Now they're going for contraceptives. They're trying to force women to have children, even if those girls are 10, 11, 12 years old, forcing them to keep the baby from rape or incest. I'm sorry, it's not the same on the left that it is on the right.
Plan, strategize to be able to carry out an act of violence on it. That is different. So we do have a celebration of differences in America. Quite frankly, Charlie Kirk literally has on his banners when he speaks on college campuses, prove me wrong, and would say, if you disagree with me, I'm going to seat you closer to the front so we can actually have dialogue. The goal of it is to be able to talk about things. As Charlie Kirk said often, when the words stop, the violence starts. That's when people say, no more words, I'm going to now attack you. Let's keep talking about things and keep working through this.
Yeah, well, I think that's a pretty good message. I mean, I know you're not going to like the fact that he quoted Charlie Kirk, who's a very complicated figure, but at least he's saying the thing that no other Republican is saying, which is, one, the Democratic Party is not a domestic extremist organization, and two, that America is all about celebrating our differences. I hope one day we can get to a place where we remember that. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please hit like. If you're not subscribed, please.
Thank you there, Mr. Edwards. I will give you credit in the end of this video and in the description. But as I was going to say, the right wants you to believe everything it's saying. That way it has some way of a chokehold on anything and everything that comes out into the news media. They constantly demonize left-wing politics. They constantly demonize homophobia, homosexuals. They constantly demonize transgender, LGBTQIA+. They demonize everything they don't agree with for one reason, and one reason only. They don't understand how any of it works. So they are drummed up and radicalized by voices of people they actually agree with. Why? Because 54% of this nation are boomer. They're the boomer generation. They are some of the most gullible people on this planet. They are some of the most gullible people in this nation. 54%. Now, not the entire 54% are whitewashed morons. It's just the MAGA group. There are some Republicans out there that I actually have respect for. But I don't have any respect for the MAGA group or Trump or MGT, Lower Loomer. I don't have respect for any of these asshats that sit there and say the same things over and over and over again and try to diffuse from the situation at hand. Like, let's talk about some of the actual hearings. Let's I'm gonna go up here. One sec. I'm gonna go ahead and pause so it doesn't run like that. Here we have somebody talking about the committee meeting privately with the Epstein victims.
The House Oversight Committee met privately with victims of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell as part of its investigation into the government's handling of the case.
You can imagine how many documents there are. I think that we're going to have I think we'll receive the documents very soon. They're compiling everything together. I think we're working together in a good faith effort, and everything's coming along. I expect to receive the documents very, very soon.
The committee is also requesting suspicious activity reports from the Treasury Department. The investigation aims to examine potential violations of ethics rules related to elected officials. The committee intends to make the files public after review, redacting victims' personal information.
I got one question for everybody on the right. If it was such a hoax, why is Ghislaine Maxwell still in prison? That's it. That's all I got for today. Almost a half hour. If you like what you saw, leave a like, comment, subscribe. This is Big Grim out. Hey everybody, and thank you for watching this video. There's a lot going on in this country, and what needs to stop is the discourse and the obfuscation of the truth. Now, if we can agree on that, then I think we can also agree there's only one side with extremism right now, and it's you MAGA cultists. MAGA. You guys don't know how to say Kamala Harris, so that's whatever. But I'm not going to sit here and play patty cake with you morons while you think it's 3D chess. What I am going to do is make sure that every single lie is dissected, flipped on its head, and shoved up your ass. I'm not going to play nice while you guys sit there and say very findable lies. Just like the 33,000 plus lies Donald Trump was saying during 2016 and his entire presidency for the first time. And guess what? If he's convicted of treason through impeachment, that means his entire cabinet gets yeeted to the side as well. So that's all I wanted to do for the end of this video. Thank you for everybody that watched it. If you liked what you saw, please hit that like and subscribe. I will see you all in the next one. Ciao for now.
MAGA is extremely retarded.
But still unstable. Sour lies rising high. That's buried deep where shadows lie. How many masks can a man wear before the weight breaks the air? Whispers in the hall and mirrors loud. Deals in the dark, wrapped in a shroud. Money talks, silence screams. Power's just a puppet's dream. Fingers point, but they don't